Welcome back. Now our blaster beams explode when they hit walls, but what if they hit the actual pawn? In other words, what if they hit us while we're playing? Well, being our first game and all, I'd like it to be simple. I just want to quit the game as soon as the bot hits us. Since we haven't learned how to do fancy things like show a message to the screen or anything like that, for now we'll keep this simple. And our blaster beam needs to know as soon as it hits something, is that thing the default pawn that we're possessing? For that reason, I like the blaster beam to have its own variable, that is a target pawn. Much like our BP bot has its own target pawn in our combat section. Remember, we're getting that target pawn and setting its value in store target pawn. We're getting all actors of the pawn class. We know there's only one, and we're storing that in target pawn. Well, every time we spawn a blaster beam, I'd like to set that blaster beam's target pawn, which means blaster beam needs to have a target pawn. So we'll go ahead and add a variable to the blaster beam class. I'm going to click plus and call this new variable target pawn. We'll go ahead and change its data type as well by searching for pawn, and we're going to get a pawn object reference. Now, I want to be able to set this target pawn as soon as we spawn a blaster beam. To do that, we have to do two things. First, we have to make the variable instance editable with the eye icon or the checkbox in the details panel. And then we have another option called expose on spawn. If we check that checkbox, then this variable will be exposed when we're spawning an actor of this class. We have to compile, and then we can go back to BP bot and find our function where we're spawning a blaster beam. That's spawn blaster beam. And here we have our spawn actor BP blaster beam. Now we can expand the dropdown, but I don't see our target pawn variable. So we have to right click on it and refresh nodes. Now we can see our target pawn as an input. And we can take our target pawn on BP bot and set the target pawn on blaster beam. And as soon as we spawn it, now that blaster beam has its target pawn variable set. Now, whenever the blaster beam hits something, we can get that other actor that was hit and see if it's equal to our target pawn. We do that by taking our other actor and typing double equals, and we get an equal node. This is a comparison operator that will check the two inputs. It'll take the first input, for which we're passing in other actor, and see if it's equal to the second input, for which we're going to pass in target pawn. So let's pass that in. Now we're going to use this Boolean. I'd like to end the game if it returns true, if target pawn is the other actor that we hit. So I'm going to move this forward a bit. And right here, before we call destroy actor, I'm going to make a branch and use the Boolean returned from the comparison operator. Now, I do need to make sure to hook up these wires correctly. If we've hit the target pawn, in other words, other actor is equal to target pawn, I'd like to quit the game. Otherwise, I'd like to simply destroy the blaster beam. So if the other actor is not target pawn, we'll simply destroy actor on the blaster beam. And if we did hit the target pawn, I want to quit the game. And there's a handy function for that. It's called quit game. We can simply call quit game and our game will be ended. So now we have a losing condition for our game. Now the other actor here is kind of going through the other nodes like this, which is a little bit of a pain. One way to organize this a bit is to highlight our nodes and collapse to a function. So I'm going to right click and collapse to function. And we can call this handle on hit. And in the details panel, I'm going to change the input parameter A to other actor. We could also call it hit actor. That might be a little bit easier to understand. And then we have our hit result that we're passing in as well. So in handle on hit, that is where we're spawning the system and checking to see if we should either destroy the actor or quit the game. And now that this is inside of a function, our hit actor is local to this function. We can right click and type hit actor, and we can get it here. And now we don't have to drag a wire connecting from hit actor to our comparison node. So this looks better. And in our event graph, this looks better as well. So let's test this out. But before we do, we have to go back to bpbot because we've disconnected one of the nodes in our event graph in tick. We're not interpolating anymore. Now we can hook that back up so that our drone is going to continue facing us with a smooth interpolation. And now we can test this out. I'm going to delete this wall and I'm going to change from simulate to play in the selected viewport. And the game ends immediately, which means that our drone is blasting us before we have the chance to do anything. So we're going to want a little bit of a delay before our drone begins to get hostile. So before we call set timer by event, I'm going to go ahead and place just a little delay before that. Let's give ourselves a second or two to get away from that drone before it becomes hostile. Let's go ahead and play test this. There we go. And if we manage to get hits, then the game ends. Excellent. So we learned a couple new concepts. We learned that an actor can have a variable and we can enable expose on spawn. We saw that it has to be instance editable to be expose on spawn. And as soon as we do that, then whenever we spawn an actor from this class, such as in spawn blaster beam here, the spawn actor node will have an input allowing us to set the value of that variable. Excellent job. I'll see you in the next video.